Welcome back to the quarantine episode of Cooking with Feelings, which basically just means it's normal cooking with feelings, but I'm sadder. So today we're making Mexican steak, which is basically white person's version of barbacoa, I'm guessing. I have this big hunk of beef. I put salt, spices, chili powder, cumin, and chipotle powder on this like 2 days ago. Now, I've been getting educated, and seasoning your meat 1 to 2 days in advance makes a huge difference. One, because the salt seeps all the way into the piece of beef. Two, it actually starts breaking down the proteins to make a more tender, moist meat later on. There's a whole bunch of science, but that's the quick version. So first thing I'm going to do is brown this before I put it into the crock pot. So I'm going to dump it. Hear that sizzle? Just going to cook it in the pan, brown both sides before I put it for the long cook in the crock pot. I need a spatula. Got this handy. So now I've got my meat browned, and we're going to talk about what happens next. I've started preheating my crock pot on high. Basically, we're going to put our meat in there, dump salsa on top of it. I'm not particular on my kind of salsa. This is actually pretty old salsa that I need to get rid of, so I'm going to use that. I have some chipotle, just the stuff from like a can, your can of chipotle and adobe sauce. This is leftover because I already used it for something else. And then I have a can of green chilies. My meat is all sizzled up. My pan is hot. I'm going to stick this meat in my crock pot, which I have been preheating. I'm actually going to I'm going to rinse this and get some of this flavor so I don't miss it and put it in with my meat. Basically, anytime you brown something in a pan and there's residue, that residue tastes amazing. And you shouldn't just let it go. You should keep it as if you can. And then pour that over my meat. Okay. And then I have some chipotle sauce. Just going to add that on top. I have a can of green chilies. Real New Mexicans, which is where this dish comes from, or at least that's where my mom came from that told me this dish. Real New Mexicans would be deeply offended that I'm using canned green chilies, but unfortunately I don't have any fresh or frozen ones, so canned it is. Sad day. Okay, and then I have this old, and when I say old, I mean I don't know when I got it, salsa, but it still smells fine. So we're gonna figure it's gonna cook for a long time. It'll make up for any of its agedness. Gonna pour that on it. The idea is to have lots of moisture for your meat to sort of simmer in. Putting that all into the crock pot, which I have on high, so that it kind of speeds up getting things to the simmering stage. And I'm just gonna cook this like all day. The end goal is to, when you can shred the meat with a fork and it just kind of comes apart, then you've cooked it long enough. Probably like 4 hours would be the minimum, I would say. But you'll know when it's ready. Okay, it's been cooking for about an hour to hour and a half. And as you can see, it's starting to be sizzly. This is starting to be a lot soupier. I just like to sort of baste it and flip it over every once in a while. Still quite stiff, so got a lot more time to go. Whoosh. 8 hours later. Whoosh. Look at this tender morsels just crumbling in front of your very eyes. That's exactly what you want to see. That, my dears, is Mexican steak, ready for eating.